All right, thank you for staying with Daybreak. We're still continuing this conversation. It's an amalgamation of quite a number of issues because still on the front page of the Daily Nation, Raila and Ruto cut deals to save allies. We'll talk about that as well in relation to this. But Governor Mutua, you were asked to give response to certain questions that you've been asked. One of them that you mentioned is that Raila is being played. Who's playing him?
Well, I think, you know, the reason I've been supporting Raila Amolo Odinga is because I believe that he's a man who stood for change in this country. But he seems, from where I sit, he seems to be encircled by things that are not making even him comfortable. Because as a presidential candidate, you shouldn't be dealing with these other issues, small issues. You should be concentrating on your campaign. Yeah. Where are you going next? What's the messaging? How are you going to package it? But it seems now he's been brought to the fore with people coming in and making demands. Let me, and I'll answer to a few questions. And sorry, I'll be a bit long-winded, kidogo too, but it's good for Kenyans to know where we are. One is that the reason I'm very cautious, you know, in Swahili they say, ashauma na nyoka kiono nyasi anashtuka. And once bitten, twice shy. You know, we had a senatorial election and in Machakos, by-election, after we lost Dr. Kabaka. And during that time, we came when we struck a deal where Maendeleo Chap would withdraw its candidate, Mheshimiwa Katuko, and we went to State House. And the President, His Excellency, sat there. And we sat here. And we negotiated. And the agreement was it would be better because Kalonzo was all over the place, you know. I think trying to blackmail, threaten, they'll pull out Wiper, everything. We said, the President will like you. Let's make this easy. You know, Katuko will withdraw. So that they were afraid that the UDA candidate would get away in, would split the votes, you know, all those things. We said, okay, let Wiper. But then what are we getting it? And so it was agreed that there would be a form of a bit of compensation for the monies that we have spent in the campaigns. You know, and we said we did not come here for money, we came here for ideology, sour. But even more important was a promise of a job for Katuko. You're giving up your bid to get a job because and he was promised to be given a job. Even the president offered to make him an advisor, to be sitting in Harambee House on policy or whatever, because it doesn't need to go through the Public Service Board. And we agreed, we shook hands, and we said, go and issue a statement. We went and issued a statement, and that was the last end of it. We never got a cent to to cover our costs, which is neither here nor there. But more important, Katuko was not even offered the job of a cleaner or even a cook, you know, or even a driver. Up to today, it was reneged. So from that perspective, hii mambo kuambiwa it's okay, it's okay, it's okay, itakuwa sawa, we don't want. You know, tumekuwa hapo, tumefinywa, tumeona. Up to today, Maendeleo Chap was shafted, clearly. And so we've lost trust in word of mouth. And now it even becomes worse when there's a document which we are not even allowed to look at and we are being told it is okay. We don't like it. Now, you know, I like Raila Amolo Odinga. He's my friend and I have a very soft heart for him. And but you know, politics is not about friendship. Politics is about self-interest. Politics is about getting the best for your people and development of this country. But I do feel that even if reggae is brought back, it will not be to the advantage of Raila Amolo Odinga. Because there are so many forces that are not garnered to make him president, but are garnered to make sure that even if he becomes president, he'll be under control. And he'll be able to be controlled. That's how I feel. This is what Mudavadi also said at some point. This is what I feel when I look at the games being played. Because
remote control, and you are confirming that now.
These things that are going on, they are not disadvantaging anybody else but Raila Amolo Odinga. He's the one at the losing end here. Because they are being made by people who are not running for president. And even when we said Raila Tosha, we were there, delegates from all parties. We said Raila Tosha. So we feel that when it comes to the deputy president, we should also be there and say, Raila be deputized by this person from our coalition. And we have no problem with Kalonzo Musyoka if that's, we believe, will be the best person, or whatever. But it's all about getting people to know what's going on. Okay. Not people sitting and deciding. You know, Kenyans need change. You know, yesterday I met a gentleman called Moses Ngela. I don't know, I met him. I bumped into him in a restaurant. And he was so happy to see me. He said he's from Yatta, and he was so pleased. And he said he will not sleep that night for meeting me. I said, why are you so pleased? And then he enumerated the projects that I have done for him, not for him personally, but for his village. Yeah. And how the life of his mother has changed. And he said, Mutua, where we'll go, will always follow you. You've changed your lives. Because that is the role of politics, is to get into politics so that we can change the lives of our people, strangers that some of them will never meet in our lifetime. Let me say a few more things.
Yeah.
Now, you know, this appointment of a Tuju-led secretariat, we also saw it in the news. Unajua hata information, hata kama hatukubali, even information, kuambia this, we saw it in the news, and we were told that he'll be deputized by somebody from Wiper, ODM, and Jubilee. So they are the ones who are going to be making decisions on nominations for Azimio, including parties who are allied to Azimio like ourselves, yet we are not even represented in that. So we don't see goodwill. And unajua Waswahili walisema ya kwamba akufukuzae hakuambii toka. Unajua kama unafukuzu uambiwi toka, maybe now they feel that they don't need us anymore. And my friend asked me, what are the options? Because my party has mandated me to represent them and to be their voice in Kenya. But what are my options?
What are you thinking of doing?
We have four options.
Yeah.
The option, the best option for us is let's clean this up and let's continue as a group. But the other four options are one, I can decide, let's Maendeleo chap, get out and continue on its own, and we'll negotiate as a party with Azimio after the elections or whoever, Or we decided yesterday we can form our own coalition, Mwanzo Mpya, and this coalition can now be the fourth pillar, either in Azimio or negotiate later after as another coalition. So there will be Kenya Kwanza, there will be Azimio, and then there will be another coalition in this country, Mwanzo Mpya coalition, and we all running out of time. We all go, and then no, we still have time. Or there's the option also of joining Kenya Kwanza. I saw a missed call when I woke up this morning from Deputy President William Ruto. I haven't spoken to him. His people have been calling me for the last few weeks, including my good Senator Cherangai always urges me. He called me last night because he's seeing an opportunity. He's calling people. He's saying, come in. I haven't talked to him. I'll not talk to him until I talk to my people.
So you didn't pick his call?
No, I was asleep because I sleep early because of this show.
Okay.
So I sleep early because
I wake up. The call then?
And then also I also have the option of renewing my presidential bid. And deciding, let me go to the ballot and see what I can do. So it's not that we are lost of options. What you want is to be treated with respect, because we are doing this for Raila Amolo Odinga, and we are doing this as a party, but we will not agree to be tricked and played the way we were played with Katoko. We will not agree to be played, and then we are not on the ballot, and then our party just fulfills.
Will you return the Deputy President's call?
Yes, I will, because whenever Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta calls me, I return his call. Raila Amolo calls me, I return his call. Kalonzo Musyoka calls me, I return his call. William Ruto calls me, I return his call. You call me, I return your call. That is how I believe. I've been brought up well, that if somebody calls you, listen to what they are saying. Do not refuse to listen, but refuse to what they're telling you. But listen to what they tell you. I'll return his call after this meeting and listen to what he's telling me. And also, I had a chat with Raila Amolo Odinga yesterday before we issued this statement. And he said there'll be a meeting that will be called. We look forward to a meeting being called to discuss. We listen, because we come here with open hands and we come here with goodwill. And it's goodwill for the people of this country. Kenyans are suffering. I mean, look at the price of oil. Look at there was a poll being done, I saw by Citizen, about the price of food. We need a solution, but solution needs to be politicians who can work with trust for our people, not just for ascension of power.
No, but just as a friend, Daktari, rather than returning the call, I would advise, because you're my friend, and I can tell you where things are thick and where they are thin.
He's lobbying now.
I think you better go there and have a word with him face to face.
Okay, let me bring in Cherargei on this.
No, but I cannot invite myself to a meeting.
There's been an explanation of how this is ending up, but let's talk about this issue on the front page of the Daily Nation. Raila and Ruto cut deals to save the allies, and there's a list there. There's Mutahi Kahiga, Nyeri Governor, Cleophas Malala, Kakamega Governor, Steve Lelengwe, Samburu Senator, Joash Maangi, Kisii Senator, Patrick Ole Ntutu, Narok Governor on this other side. On the side of Raila Odinga, there's Anyang' Nyong'o, Kisumu, James Orengo, Siaya,